Hi, my name is Matthew Forbes, writer, director of David, a new short film. And I'd like to take you back in time to the 1980s. Think about the music, the movies, the politics, the culture. Maybe you think it was a fun time. Maybe you think it was one long party. And maybe it was, unless you were a gay man. If you were a gay man, it was a terrible, terrible time. You see, in the 1980s, there was a terrible disease, the HIV/AIDS virus. And this virus mostly affected gay men. Now, if you were a gay man who had HIV or AIDS, first of all, it was a death sentence. Because at that time, there was no treatment and no cure. Some people have survived from that time, but not too many. If you were diagnosed with that disease, you had to tell people. You couldn't keep it a secret. And that is how a lot of people found out that their sons and their brothers and their coworkers were gay. And homophobia was so widespread, was so common, that in case after case after case, a man would be diagnosed with a terminal disease and then be abandoned by his family, by his friends, by his loved ones. He would die in the hearts of those people long before he died of the disease. They would be left to die alone. But there was another person named David Shannon. He was a friend of mine. He was tall, handsome, charming, so funny, so kind, a wonderful person. And until he died in 2018, none of his friends knew that during the HIV/AIDS epidemic of the 80s and early 90s, he sat with total strangers who were dying of the disease. He kept them company. He looked after them as best they could. Because David didn't think that anyone should have to die alone. He fought hatred with compassion. I love David. I miss him very much. And to remember him, and to remember the compassion that he showed during a difficult time, I wrote a screenplay for a short film based on his experiences during the epidemic. It's called simply David. It shows his care for one single terminal patient who was a total stranger, just like all the patients he cared for. They were all strangers to him. Please help me fund this short film, because I think that David's kindness and humanity should be remembered. But more importantly than that, I think that David's example of human love needs to be remembered and celebrated today more than ever before. Please donate whatever you can to make this movie a reality. The screenplay has already won over 24 awards at film festivals around the world, and I know that this film can be something special. So I hope you'll join me in making this movie and telling this story. Thank you.